Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole. This is Vanessa.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I start by bringing it down a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to so hopefully by the time this video or this episode goes out, all the fires in California are done because we're 2 weeks ahead right now. So let's just hope. But in our current timeline, the fires are really crazy right now in California. And I don't live in California anymore, obviously, nor have I ever lived in LA. But I spent my entire life in Los Angeles County, like in and around Los Angeles County living. And that's kind of what my headspace has been this week. Literally just this whole week has just been like checking on fires, checking on friends, checking on like all of the things. And it just really sucks to like watch it all burn.
Yeah, it's really sad. And I mean, I realize LA is huge.
Yes.
But sometimes I think you don't understand the scale of how big that place is if you include all the surrounding areas. Because I know I felt like I had to stop asking you, and I'm like, today, is it next to your house today? And you're like, no. And I'm like, but how about tomorrow?
Yeah.
So
you know what's crazy is like where I used to live was Los Angeles County, but we're like an hour away from where the fires are. So all of that is just like all very familiar places to me, you know, places we would go to the beach, places we would go to like shopping and stuff like that. And so to watch it all just burn is it's just so like it's devastating to watch it all because it's never going to look the same. And there's so many conspiracy theories out there right now, and some of them I feel like I believe a little bit more than others.
Okay.
But I mean, either way, whether the conspiracy is true or not, the devastation is still happening. People are still losing like literally their entire lives. And so, yeah. Remember when we had this conversation about how I cry at everything? I found a new thing that I cry at.
Okay.
It's watching the water planes pick up water and dump them on the fires. I literally spent like 2 hours watching videos of them, and when the drop is perfect and it's like directly over the fire, I cry.
Good job, guys.
Yes, I'm just so proud.
Yeah, I am really impressed by have you seen the ones where they're in helicopters?
Yes.
And they do that like sideways flying.
Yes.
And they deliver, and I'm like,
what are you doing?
How did you get this? Yeah, I'm always impressed by those.
Yes.
So
well, my impressiveness translates into tears. So that's what I've been doing.
If anybody takes anything from this, you guys are doing a good job. And you know that because you made Vanessa cry.
That's right.
So.
Oh, another thing that made me cry is I keep seeing all the videos of other states sending out their crews. So like Canada and Mexico have both sent crews out, and then like Oregon, Washington, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, like all of those states are sending crews out, and they keep posting videos. Like their official pages are like posting videos like rolling out to California. I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet of you.
That's funny.
Yeah, anyway. So that's all.
I think we've talked about this before, and I've always said like dying in a fire is the most terrifying thing for me.
So
like
bad.
not even just the dying aspect, but from a natural disaster aspect.
Yes.
Give me a hurricane, give me a tornado, give me like stuff like that. Snowstorms. Like I don't fire is not something that I want to fuck around with. So
no, I think that's why both fire, let's just talk about how we don't want to die. I think both fire and drowning to me are the same, and I think it's because both of them are essentially like you suffocate to death before you would burn up or anything. So I feel like the suffocation part of it to me is like terrifying.
Yeah, same.
No, I don't want this. All right. Well, anyways, that's all. I just wanted to like let you know where my headspace was this week, and like that's all.
Yeah. Well,
now,
I understand. I know you have a lot of family and friends out there, so it's understandable.
Yeah, it's like it's weird too because at one point Tim was like, "Why are you having such a reaction to this? Like you did not live there." And I was like, "I lived close enough." Like because all of it, whether I live there or not, like the things are still familiar to me. Like that street where that shop was at, like I was there, I shopped there, I went there, right? And it wasn't like all the time, but anyway, that's enough. Anyway. You tell me things now.
As you can see, I'm in my house.
Yes, your headspace is moving.
Yeah, which we moved in this week and we did all the moving in this weekend and stuff like that, and moving is stressful anyways.
Yes.
So it's one of my lesser favorite things to do.
Yes.
But the amount of boxes and packing paper these people used, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
We have so much garbage.
Yes. I think it took us like 2 months to get rid of all of the paper and boxes that we had when we moved here. Just because the movers use so much, and there's only so much you could put. It was like either 2 months or like 15 runs to the recycling center or whatever it was. Like they use a lot.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how much they put out or they take, because we put everything out there. So I'm interested to see how much they take tomorrow.
Yes.
So
good luck.
Yeah. So yeah, like you could see I've done some unboxing of stuff.
Yes.
And Mike did some unboxing. This is not the final format, but just a good start.
Every week it'll be a surprise as to what Nicole's office is going to look like this week.
Yeah. There were more boxes behind me earlier, and today when I had my lunch break, I was like, no.
These will not be in frame.
Yeah, I cannot have this. So
that's funny.
Yeah, other than that, I just moved in and stuff like that. I was perusing the internet, and I did find an article that, like a news feed or something that I was like, I have to ask this to Vanessa. So I wrote it on a sticky note.
Can't wait.
So, according to Publishers Weekly, the top 5 selling books this week are, can you guess number 1?
Fourth Wing.
Yes.
I
knew you would. Yeah, I knew you would be able to pick. I knew you were going to be able to guess number 1. As soon as I saw it, I was like, figures.
Yes, because everyone's trying to get ready for number 3. I have news about that when you're done with your list.
Oh, you want to hear the rest?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like you said, 1 is Fourth Wing, 2 is Quicksilver.
Okay.
3 is The Boyfriend. 4
Frida McFadden.
Yeah. Okay. 4 is Wicked.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then 5 is The Frozen River. I didn't write down the author.
Oh, I read that.
But, yeah?
Yeah. It's
this
really
week?
Good. No. I read probably the summer last year. Summer, fall. It's a historical fiction. Yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
My Onyx Storm news is that I have been seeing all over the internet that people, like a lot of people, thought that Onyx Storm was the last book. And they are very upset to find out that it's not. It's been out there for a very long time. Rebecca said it a long time ago that she expected this to be at least 5 book series. So I'm very sad for all those people that thought they were about to get all those answers in book 3. You're probably going to end up with a bigger cliffhanger than we had in book 2.
Yeah. That's
Uh-huh.
so sad for
I
those people.
know. Especially, I feel like a lot of these people too are like, I feel like a lot of romantasy readers right now are like newer readers, so they're not
Mm-hmm.
used to the like waiting a year or two for another book to come out in a
Mm-hmm.
series. Welcome to the fantasy world, new readers.
Yeah.
uh
Well, poor readers.
I know. I know. I have one more thing before we talk about snacks. Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
So last week we talked about the new setting that Goodreads and Amazon did where it automatically feeds.
Mm-hmm.
So I did figure out you can delink your Amazon account from your Goodreads. It's like the only way that you can make it stop doing the auto update now.
Okay.
The only problem with that is you can't log into Goodreads anymore with your Amazon account. So you have to like have its Goodreads has to have its own login now.
Ugh.
So if that's how you want to do it, for me, it was more important to delink them than it was to have the Amazon login. So it's just an update of information for you from last week.
Nice.
Mm,
Well, thank you for that update.
you're
I don't think
welcome.
I'm gonna make the complete separation yet, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'll give it a couple more
Yeah.
weeks.
It was just bothering me. And so now in protest, I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't been putting anything on Goodreads. And
Well,
it's in protest of them doing it automatically.
nice. Well, I haven't noticed, and there's a reason for that because I haven't finished nearly as many books as I should have because I've been moving and unpacking and
That
doing
is
all these
fair.
things. So like
You're allowed.
I've not been going in there and like doing I not panicked, but the only thing I did this week for reading was like finish my books, did what I needed to do for this podcast, and I was like, it's done.
Not looking
I'm
at another
not
thing.
not doing anything else. I don't have time.
Yes, that's fair.
So, but yeah.
In your moves, did you eat are okay, first question. Are you still eating meat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And second question, did you have a good snack this week?
Yeah. 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 Oh, yes. Yes, I did. It was
Oh,
crazy. Okay,
you
so
sounded very unsure at first.
well, at first I was kind of like, oh yeah, I had a couple good snacks, and then I
Mhm.
remembered one thing that I did not write down is
Okay.
to remember, and it just came to me, so I got really excited about that. But yeah, we moved in on Friday, and
Mhm.
the movers came and dropped everything off, and we were like, I don't know where anything is. We'll just order food. So we ordered Mediterranean. The food was okay, but
Okay.
but when we were looking, they had dessert, which is
Mhm.
not really normal, I guess. Like,
Okay.
well, I mean, there's always baklava, which I love, but so I was like, well, I'll just get a piece of baklava because, tasty treat.
Yeah.
They had something that I've never heard of before. It's called and I apologize up front if this is not the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
It's called Oma Ali,
Mhm.
and it's a traditional Egyptian dessert, but it's basically a baked croissant, and it has like the consistency of bread pudding.
Oh.
But it's not as sweet, and it's like topped with like crushed pistachios. So
Ooh.
yeah, so I was on Friday. I was like, hell yeah, that's my this is my snack. This is delicious. I was standing at the counter eating it, and Mike came up, and I was like, "Do you want a bite?" And he like took a bite, and he was like, "That's good." And he walked away, and I went to go take like another bite, and he stopped back over, and he's like, "Give me more." And I was like,
You should never let him have any.
I
You
know,
can't share.
I know, I made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Yes.
So I
That's what
had that. Yeah.
anytime Tim and I have a good snack, we're like, you'll hate this. You can't have
Mhm.
it. You don't want to
Don't
try
even
this.
don't even do it. It's
No.
not worth it. So I did end up that was gonna be
Mhm.
my snack, but I ended up having dinner with my sister on Saturday, and like we did some like stuff because I went shopping for some stuff for the house, and then we
Mhm.
met up or we both went shopping, and then we had dinner, and we went to a Mexican restaurant, which probably wouldn't be normal like anything to comment on,
Mhm.
but they had I think they called it like crazy guac, or I don't know, but it
Okay.
was guac and it had all the regular guac ingredients in it, but then they put blue cheese and bacon in it, and I was like, I'm kind of on the fence about
That
this.
sounds odd.
It was so fucking good.
Really?
It was delicious. I had to stop it from eating the whole thing.
Are you gonna start putting blue cheese in all of your
I'm
guac
gonna
now?
I might bacon bits and blue cheese. It was so good. I
Wow.
wish I could remember what the name of but that's gonna be my snack this week.
Okay.
Is whatever this crazy guac is. I'm just gonna call it crazy guac.
Yes, that's a great name for it. I accept.
So yeah, it was
Excellent.
good. But
Nice.
so yeah.
Well, my snack, I'm going back to a protein snack. Sorry. I tried a new protein snack this week. It's the Legendary brand chips. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, it's like they're called protein puffed chips or pop chips or something like that. So it's like a popped whatever, and it was the ranch flavor. And they were quite good.
That's cool.
Good for a protein snack.
Yeah, it's hard to get a good protein. I know I sent you a picture. I tried what is it called? The Factor delivery service, and they had cinnamon horchata protein in bottles, and like the already made. And I was like, hell, I love horchata. I will just fucking buy it and see what it tastes like. It's proteiny.
No. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It tasted like protein mix and like some like cinnamon vanilla flavor, but I mean, it definitely wasn't like horchata, so
all right. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna drink them. They're not terrible enough that I'm not gonna drink them.
Yeah.
And I poured one of them into the creamy container because I think I'm gonna put some add-ins in there, maybe some Oreos or something, and
all right,
and make myself some ice cream.
Okay.
Tomorrow. So
excellent.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything.
Yeah. It's minus I have one more thought.
Oh, okay.
It's not really about food.
Okay.
I know I mentioned it to you earlier today, but I just want to reiterate for everybody. I know that I did this to myself by moving up to Michigan, but why the fuck is it so cold up here?
You knew what you were getting into, Miss Nicole.
Right. And so the reason I say this is because this is where I was talking to you earlier. I haven't been able to go run or, in between moving or being up at the cabin, and I haven't been able to work out. I haven't been able to run. I haven't been able to do that anything. So, and between that and now our friend of the pod saying that he's going to start running again, and I'm like, fuck, maybe I need to get Strava so that way I can be like,
yes, you can be motivated. Like, both between him and Tim, you'll just be like, oh my God, I have to go run.
Right. And I knew this was serious business because this is what I was telling you this morning. My Aura ring has gotten super judgy. It like usually it's my Garmin.
Yeah.
My Garmin is like, you suck at running. Come on. And I'm like, no, now my Aura ring is like, are you okay? Like,
that's so funny because my Aura ring is so nice to me. So like the other night I didn't really sleep. Smudge woke me up and I couldn't go back to sleep, whatever. And when I looked at my Aura, the app told me, don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
I was like, so when you told me, I was like, no, Aura is nice. What are you talking about?
No, my Aura was basically like, are you a sickly Victorian child? Get the fuck out there and go do something. Your cardiovascular age is that of a 90-year-old. And I was like, dang it.
Well,
so
guess you're going to have to figure it out.
So yeah, I spent like 10 minutes Googling gyms today. I was like, that's one step closer. So I'm going to get to a gym. I have to get there. So I have to find the perfect gym.
All right.
So,
or you have to buy a treadmill.
We have a treadmill. It's just in the cold ass garage.
That's why I didn't work out today. I was not going to go out when it was 1 degree outside.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right, now it's book time.
Okay, fine. Now we can do books. Do you want to go first?
Whatever you
want. Go first.
Whatever you want. You get to choose.
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. So I only have 2 books this week.
Yay!
And it was a close one. I was finishing up my last book like Sunday night. And I was also an audiobook, so it's not like I could like just like skim or anything. Right. I had to physically sit there and be like, hold on 1 minute, 1 minute.
Like 2.5.
Bumping up the speed just so I could get it done. So yeah, but that is not the one I'm going to talk about first. The first one I'm going to talk about is called Very Nice Funerals. It is by Jennifer. Here it is. I'm going to mess it up again. Jennifer Cruzy and Bob Mayer. This is the second book in the Rocky Start series.
Yes.
So Rocky Start
that you read last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This one is also Kindle Unlimited. It is a romance mystery fiction. Mm-hmm. And just like a quick recap from book 1, in Rocky Start, you have Rose and Poppy. They live with a guy. I figured it out. His name is Oz, not Ollie. Oz.
Okay.
And he owns an antique store. So at the beginning of the book, Oz dies, and a guy who claims to be his son shows up and tells Rose and Poppy they need to get out, like right now, chop chop. And that's when a gentleman named Max shows up and helps them with their problems.
Okay.
So that was book 1. Book 2 is basically starts off where that left off. Rose and Poppy are trying to figure out like the new tempo in their life and dealing with ramifications from the first book. And Max, I didn't talk about this in the first book or in last episode. Max comes to Rocky Start because he's stopping at the mail station to pick up a box that a friend has sent there because he needs new boots, and he has been hiking the Appalachian Trail. So it's one of his like pit stops. So he's now saying, all right, well, now that the danger is over, I'm going to go back and go hike the Appalachian Trail again, finish my hike. And so he's getting ready to do that. And just as he's about to leave, there is a mysterious death under like mysterious circumstances, or what is that called? Where it's like, I think there's a death under mysterious circumstances, but it's definitely not a natural cause death.
Okay.
So because of that, now Max is not comfortable leaving Rose and Poppy alone, unprotected, because soon there is another murder, and now they're starting to think that they have a serial killer on the loose. So, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Thoughts on the book? I have my notes. So my first question the first thing that I wrote down was a question to myself, and it said, am I a mystery person?
And the answer?
I don't know.
Okay. You still undecided?
I'm still undecided. I think I need to double down on my thought of like, I just need to find, I feel like I need to find the author. I just felt like I just was in there continuing to just wait for things to happen. So it was just like day-to-day minutia, and then something exciting would happen, and then it was day-to-day minutia and something exciting would happen. I was like, I don't care about the day-to-day stuff. I just want to know who killed who. So I didn't feel like it was a very exciting read because of that. It just felt like a lot of, if you want to call it, cozy read with murder.
Great. So, I love that.
So in this book, some of the secondary characters have a less significant role than they did in the first one, where they were pretty, because you're introducing them all and they play a huge role and they're all interesting because of their backstories. You don't get that in this one.
Is it just like assumed, like, oh, you know them?
But yeah, I mean, it's like they're there for moral support, but not much else, right? It's like they were like, oh, we handed over the reins to you in the first book, and now this is all your problem. We're going to go hang out at our house and watch TV or something, right?
All right.
So it wasn't as interesting as book one because there's just less finding out about other characters and stuff like that. Okay. So, in addition to that, it felt like the authors were just, there to kill off secondary characters for the story. So all the people who died were secondary characters in the first book.
Okay.
So then they're just killing them off, and I felt like it was more of like a convenience killing.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
It sounds so bad, but like it just felt like they were like killing off secondary characters for the plot instead of coming up with a second book plot. So
right. Okay.
I thought it was just, like I said, an average read. By the end of it, I just wanted the book to be done. So I gave it what am I? Oh yes, 3 crazy guacs. All That's what I'm giving it.
Is it just 2 books?
It is 2 books.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh, sorry, my bad. It is not just 2 books. There is a 3rd book coming out this year sometime. I think it comes out in May.
Okay.
I don't know if I plan to read it. I read the what is it called? I read the description, and I think it's another serial killer. So I'm not sure how I feel about that again. So I think I'm just gonna skip that one.
Okay.
So, all right. So my second book, which is what I thought you were talking about. My second book, when you were like, "Is it 2 books?" I was like, "Oh yes, I only did 2 books this week." No. Come on, Vanessa. So my second book this week, sorry, is called "Daughter of Fortune" by Isabel Allende.
Okay.
Sorry. I listened to this book. It was an audio book, and it is a historical fiction with also, I guess, like a little bit of romance. The book is based on like a romance story. Okay. But it's historical fiction. So this book follows Eliza Summers. She lives with her adopted family in 1850s Chile.
Okay.
So
just immediately went to food, and I was like, why are you talking about chili?
Come on, it's a huge part. So yes.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
My brain is not there. Okay. Yes, she lives in Chile. Got it.
Okay, so she lives in 1850s Chile, and she falls in love with an inappropriate gentleman.
Inappropriate like for the time, basically?
For the time, right? So like she lives like with a well-to-do family, and this guy is like a clerk.
I see. Got it.
So inappropriate because of their station.
Right.
So they secretly become lovers, and about that time is when they discover gold in California.
Okay.
And so he leaves Eliza to go to California to see if he can make money in the gold rush. Now, so he leaves, and then like a week later, Eliza finds out that she's pregnant.
Okay.
And instead of telling her adopted family and stuff like that, she's like, I'll just follow him to San Francisco. How hard could that be? So not easy. She finds out. The rest of the book is her journey to get to San Francisco, and while she's there going to find him. She meets a whole bunch of people along the way. Some of them are helpful, more helpful than others.
Okay.
And so I guess the main point of the book is what starts as like a search for her lover and like to reunite and become like a family. It just actually turns into more of like a personal growth story.
Okay.
So
she's like finding herself along the way.
yeah. So my thoughts on this book.
Can I tell you my first thought?
Yes.
How in the fuck can somebody make it across the country in 1850? Because the only thing I'm thinking is like, I need my cell phone, I need my car, I need. She literally just has to be like, which way?
Yep. Give me the direction of the
Yes.
stars. Yeah. So I don't think it's giving away anything, but she basically has to take a ship up there, and
Okay.
it's a steam powered ship.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So I think it takes weeks for her to get there. Yeah. So yeah. Uh, because of that, and some other parts of the story, I found the story interesting,
Mhm.
but there was some writing quirks that I was not expecting and didn't really. I just didn't really like them. She segues a lot to give you backstory about other characters, but it's really choppy the way she does it. And
Okay.
then on top of that, you're sitting there going, "Why is why do I need backstory about this person?
Mhm.
What foreshadowing is this doing that I have to know all of this stuff about this guy?"
Right.
And um, I didn't really see that, especially one character. He's like, there's one guy. She tells a whole bunch of his story. It's like 2 hours of an hour of the book or something. And it was, I don't know why she told us so much backstory, because like she could have just said, oh, they talked, and then he saw her later, and it would have accomplished the same thing, because the amount of interaction they had in the beginning of the book was the same, right? I didn't need to know the backstory about all these secondary characters.
I feel like sometimes authors are just like using stuff like that as filler. Like it's not helping the story in any way. I guess so you didn't get anything from like her side of the conversation, like maybe her thoughts on certain things or something like that?
Well, I guess no. It's told from her point of view,
Mm-hmm.
but then like that's what I say. Like every once in a while, it then segues to like the backstory of these guys, but then it comes back and it's her point of view again.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was just one of those things where I just wasn't very. I didn't really enjoy the way of telling that story.
Okay.
I did like the story though. I thought it was, a cute story, and I enjoyed it. Not cute, but like interesting, and the whole thing. But I didn't really need all of the backstory for all the secondary characters.
All right.
I don't think it added anything to the story. Just I spent a lot of time going, why is this important? Is this going to be important later? I guess so. Whatever.
Okay.
And then the ending was very abrupt.
Okay.
It was just like, I can't explain it without giving away the whole. But I was surprised when I looked at my phone and it was like 7 minutes left, and I was like, "How? How is that?
That is
okay,
very
whatever."
abrupt.
Yeah. So,
okay.
yeah, I don't know, but so on a side note for this book, it doesn't have anything. Well, hold first let me say I gave this book also 3 crazy guacs, but it's a better 3 than Very Nice Funerals 3.
Okay. So Very Nice Funerals is a my 3, and this book is a your 3.
So I was rounding up to 3 with Very Nice Funerals.
Yes.
With this one, I'm rounding down to 3.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So my side note for this, I was putting it in Goodreads, and I just happened to because it has this weird I was like, oh, is this a series? And so I clicked on it, and it's not a series. There's another book told from the like about a girl who knows um Eliza or is related to Eliza or something like that. I can't
Okay.
remember off the top of my head. But because I was like looking at that, I was like, oh, what else has she read? And so I started looking at, and um she wrote Zorro.
Really?
Yeah. The
Like
book Zorro.
original?
I guess. I don't. I was just like, I saw that when I was perusing through her books, and I was like, holy shit, Zorro! I love that movie. The one with Antonio Banderas. I
Yeah.
was like, fuck yeah, I'll read this book all day. I looked at the description. It didn't really look um, quite similar, but I'm still gonna read it.
Okay.
So I am gonna give her another try,
All right.
but it's gonna be Zorro.
Okay.
So,
Great. I love that choice.
mhm.
All right. Are you all done?
Yeah, that's all
Okay.
the books I have.
I'm
Good thing I
happy.
wrote. Good thing I read my kids' book, so I'm still alive for my secret number. But
No, I'm very glad that you only read 2. It makes me feel really good. I
well,
like it when
good.
that happens. And I have 2 this week.
Yay!
Yay.
It's like we planned it.
It's like we planned it. One of them I read December 20th. And the second one I read this week. So I'm pulling in one from the one that I scrolled away. But the reason why I saved it is because it's a book 1 and 2 of a series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think there's going to be 3. I think there's going to be 3, but I haven't really looked into it very much. Okay, so the first book I read is Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and it's a romance, like straight romance. And it's part of the Rose Hill series. So the whole series is they're in this like little small Canadian town of Rose Hill, and each book follows a different couple.
Okay. So you don't have to read them in order or all of them to understand it?
So definitely the second book, you do get a little bit of the couple that you met in the first book, but like you wouldn't have to know how they got together to understand their part of the second book. So I assume it would be the same for the third book.
Okay.
So Wild Love. I would say it's like mild grumpy sunshine.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be grumpy sunshine, but to me I feel like they're both a little grumpy, but they're both really nice. So I feel like it's mild. So it follows Ford Grant and Rosie Belmont. And it's dual point of view, so like every other chapter or so ish is like one and then the other. And then there's a couple other like side characters that you get, obviously. So Rosie's brother, his name is West. He has a best friend whose name is Ford. Ford basically has always cared about Rosie, has like always been there to help. Like they're only a year apart. So as they were like growing up and Ford and West were best friends, like little sister Rosie was always around, and he always kind of like looked after her, took care of her, whatever, but never like went after her romantically, just kind of like was there. And so through all of high school and stuff, like that's kind of their relationship, and then they both went off to college and basically lived their own lives.
Okay.
So now it's 10 years later, and Ford was just named the world's hottest billionaire by People magazine.
Wow. Lucky him.
Yes.
Fucker.
So right. So Ford is his dad is a famous guitarist. Like he's a guitarist in a famous band, and Ford grew up and became like did investments and stuff, and now does like producing of music and all that kind of stuff. So just named hottest billionaire. And he's decided to move back to their small town of Rose Hill to open a recording studio because he hates the spotlight.
Well, of course.
Yes, he does not want the paparazzi coming after him, especially now that he's on the cover of this magazine. Everybody is like, oh my God. And so he's like, I'm just going to go do my little business in Rose Hill. So he's there, and somewhere in the story, a 12-year-old girl named Cora shows up at his door and claims that he is her biological father. It ends up being true, but for reasons that are not nefarious. They're just just is. Yeah. And then all while this is happening and Ford is making the decision to move back to Rose Hill, Rosie is living in the city with her boyfriend, and some things happen at work where she's just like fed up. She's done. Her relationship's kind of shitty. Everything's just kind of shitty. And she's like, I need a break. So she goes back home, and she shows up at West's door. It's hard to say that plurally. Her brother West's door. And she's like jobless, she's unhappy in her relationship, all that stuff, and she's just like, hey West, can I stay at your house for a while? He's like, yeah, no problem, you can stay in my little shack in the back. Little cottage,
my bungalow.
Yes, because he lives on like a big ranch, and so he's got a little thing in the back, and so she stays in there. Oh yeah, by the way, Ford and West live next door to each other.
Oh, how convenient.
And the studio that he's building for the music studio that he's building is on his property, so they're literally like right next to each other. So they kind of fall back into like teasing each other and playing around and like all the things. She ends up getting a job at the producing studio with him. Things elevate, and then obviously they get together. So the whole book is literally just like them working together, working through their feelings, and then dealing with Cora being there now, because now they have a 12-year-old to take care of and deal with. So my thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
I have no strong feelings about Rosie, like one way or the other. She's not terrible, but I just no strong feelings. I mostly liked Ford. He's like protective and caring and like really looks out for the people around him, which I really enjoy, and I liked that part. Cora is perfect. She's like a feisty little emo kid, and I loved her. She was great, and I loved their interactions with her. I loved her and Ford's relationship. Like everything was just it was really, really cute. Ford's mom whoa. Ford's mom she's like barely in it, but I loved her. She's a sex therapist, and just everything that came out of her mouth was just hilarious. I loved her.
Helpful, but not what he wanted at that moment.
Exactly. Yes. So I really, really enjoyed the first like 60% of this book. Like really enjoyed it. Around the 60% mark, I guess this might be a mild spoiler, but around the 60% mark is when things get serious and the spiciness starts happening. Oh, it's very open door. And once that happens, the story literally disappears.
Oh.
Like it's literally either they are fucking, or they are talking about fucking, or they are doing things that are resembling fucking. Like it's just like everything. I would have enjoyed some balance. Like I don't mind that. It's nice that they ended up together. It's like obviously if I'm choosing a book with that in it, I don't mind it being there. But as soon as it started, the whole story just kind of went to the background, and it just wasn't fun anymore. So I gave this book 2 ratings. I gave the first 60% a 4.5.
Okay.
And I gave the end of the book a 3. So I'm going to go with 3.5 overall.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah. I just, it really was sad. But I will tell you, same thing happened in the second one. So I have 2
No.
ratings for the second one as well. Okay, so book 2 is Wild Eyes, also by Elsie Silver.
Hmm.
Interesting. Um, I did forget to say they're both on Kindle Unlimited, so that's how I
Okay.
read them.
Now, did you read this book because it was a series that you couldn't walk away from? Like, it's a series I have to read it, or did you read it because you liked the first one enough?
So, um, I guess 2 reasons. One is because the first one was like a really easy read, and that's kind of I wanted something easy.
Okay.
The second book follows West, so Rosie's brother, and I was kind of
Oh,
intrigued by him in the first
okay.
one, so it was kind of the fact that it was by him. I'll give you a spoiler alert. The third one I probably won't read because I know who it's about, and I don't think I care about them.
Hmm.
We meet them in this book, and I don't think I care.
I get
So
you.
yeah, so it was mostly like West. I wanted to hear his story.
Okay. And then my second question,
Hmm.
are any of the books about his mother?
No, but they should be.
The sex therapist. I want the book about her.
Right, me too. A sex therapist that's married to a rock star, like I want that book.
I know. I want
uh,
to hear how they got together.
yes. All right, this is our call to Elsie Silver. Give us that spinoff.
Please.
Yes. Okay, so book 2, Wild Eyes. Um, it follows West and Skylar. Um, it's important to note their ages, which I didn't do in the first one, but in the second one, I want to say it's a single dad romance. But the reason why I want to say ages is because it's not an age gap, which is why I was like, normally I don't like. Usually
Yeah.
the single dad trope is usually an age gap trope, and it's not this
It
time.
is
So
not your favorite.
no. So West is 33 and Skylar is 28.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's not terrible.
yeah. So West is a horse trainer who lives on his ranch next to Ford, obviously, Ford and Rosie. First of all, I have a question. Do they have ranches on lakes? Is this like a normal
Is there a
thing?
lake on the ranch?
Yes.
I mean, it depends on how big the ranch is, I guess.
Okay. I just feel like so when I picture maybe it's because I'm picturing ranches as just like big open spaces for your animals, and I don't picture like a lake being on there that you can like swim and row and fish and
Well, come on, Vanessa. The horses got a drink too.
I guess so. Anyway, so yes, they have a lake on the property.
How nice.
Yes. And so he's a divorced dad with 2 kids, Emmy and Ollie. They are 6 and 9.
Hmm.
And Skylar is a country music star who is having some problems in the media right now. So, like, having some issues where she like clams up as soon as like the
Oh.
media talks to her, and just like her boyfriend just publicly broke up with her and is very drama.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's coming out to Rose Hill so that she can work with Ford and make her own album with him.
Nice.
So she's going out there. She's going to make her own album. She's going to do it without her agent and her manager / dad. Just kind of do her own thing, work with Ford and Rosie. So she shows up early to start working on her album. And the cottages that Ford is building on the property are not ready to host the musicians yet. So Rosie puts her in West College, a cottage that she slept in
Nice.
before. Yes. So now she's staying on West's property. And
Does she do it for convenience or does she do it for
like
she
matchmaking.
play matchmaking a little?
No, she's doing it for convenience
Okay.
because it's literally
Okay.
like walkable. You can literally walk to the studio from the cottage.
Okay.
And she's like, West won't care, it's fine. And so now she's living on his property. The kids instantly love her.
Of
obviously.
course.
They're already fans of hers, so like she quickly starts integrating into their family life.
Mm.
Yeah, so like the Emmy will go and be like, "Hey, come have dinner with us. My dad makes the best burgers." And then she comes have dinner, and it just like slowly like grows.
Right. Yeah.
Um so that's basically the whole story. It's literally like forced proximity type romance, single dad, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts on the book are, I'm glad that I like West was a good focal point for this one.
Okay.
So what I liked about him in the first one, I loved in this one. He's a great dad. He's like really cute with his kids. It's just adorable. The kids run this book. This book would not be as good if the kids were not involved, because Skylar, I don't care about her.
Mm.
I don't care. She's not like prissy or anything, like not like a normal pop star or whatever, but just I just don't care about her. So Emmy and Ollie are in it throughout the whole book, and they're adorable. Cora has a couple of like pop-ins and
Oh,
everything.
nice.
Yes, all of her pop-ins are great. I loved it. Emmy is like a sassy little 6-year-old who just like says what she wants to say, and she's great. um Ollie is just really shy, and he's just got like a really kind soul, and he's
Mm-hmm.
adorable. um and yeah, so I will say I enjoyed this one. The parts I liked, I really liked, and then everything else was just kind of boring.
Mm. Okay.
So um it's the first single dad book I've ever read that I didn't hate.
Oh, nice.
So yes,
Congratulations.
thank you. And I think, like I said before, I think it all has to do with the fact that it's not an age gap, and there's no he doesn't have a position of power over her, because I feel
Right.
like most single dads, it's like the nanny comes in and like you are her employer and whatever. In this
Right. Yeah.
situation, Skylar is totally on her own. She's totally capable of taking care of herself. It literally, like, they fall in love because they fall in love. And
Mm-hmm.
so those are the single dad books that I need.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
But like I said, it's kind of the same. I'm gonna go with a 3.5 overall, protein pops, because once the sex started, that's all it was. The story
Mm.
melted away. So
Yeah. Sounds like it's a theme.
mhm. Yeah.
So.
So yeah. And then, like I said, the third one, I don't think I'll read it. I don't care about them. Not yet. Anyways, maybe I'll find something on the internet that tells me I should care about them, but I don't even think
There's a
it's out
secret
yet.
reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out yet anyway, so I have some time to
Okay.
decide.
Cool.
But that's that. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Question time?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have different versions of the same book?
Dang. I wish all my books were here so I could look. Ah, dang it.
My answer is yes.
All
Unfortunately.
right.
Not I don't have many, but there definitely are a few. Like, I know for sure I have the special holiday edition of the Fourth Wing that's signed, and then I
Hmm.
have a regular copy of Fourth Wing. Yeah. So like that one off the right off the top of my head, I think I know for sure I have multiples of.
Yeah, I would without being able to see my collection, I
Mhm.
would say if I have double copies, it's because I got one a special edition in like a crate that
Mhm.
maybe like a subscription box that I already had a copy of on my shelf.
Mhm.
I think that's probably, but I couldn't tell you which ones they were without
Right.
looking.
Oh, I know I had I feel like recently I've been getting rid of all of my ones that I have the 2 versions of. I just keep the special editions and then I mail off the regular ones to my friend back home.
There you go.
So I guess I probably had a few more, but
Yeah.
no longer.
Yeah, because I know I bought that copy of Where the Library, no, What the River Knows.
Yes.
And I forgot that I had bought, was it the Barnes & Noble special
Yeah.
editions? So I got it and I showed it to you. I was like, yay, I'm going to start it. And you were like, you already have this book. And I was like, dang it. You're right.
Yeah. So we sent it off.
So we sent it off to your friend.
Yes.
Dang.
She's very grateful.
Yes, but now she and her husband know what's happening. I still don't.
She's like, please keep buying special edition books so then you have to send me your regular edition ones.
Yeah, that's how it was for a long time with my sister. She sometimes like would get the same book but a different version, like Owl Crate and Loot Crate or something like that, but it's the same book, it's just a different fancy version.
Right.
And so she would like look at both versions and she'd be like, this one's prettier, Nicole can have this one.
Yes, exactly.
So I do have a lot of those from her early on when she had those subscription books or subscription services. So
oh yes, subscriptions. But well, and we already know that I might end up being in that in that boat now that I have both. We'll see. I'll continue doing giveaways with some of them, but then some of them I'm sure I'll send them off to my friend.
Yeah.
Depending on what they are, I guess.
Yeah. I also noticed lately that all of the subscription boxes or services, I don't know if this is on purpose, but I'll order a book or they'll send me a book or whatever, and then I'll look and like a couple weeks later it's on Kindle Unlimited. I'm like,
interesting.
I know it's not the same thing, but sometimes I have double books that way because now I'm just like, well, I could open my fancy copy and enjoy it that way, but I don't want to ruin it. Right. So I'm just going to read it on Kindle Unlimited, which is their plan.
Yep.
I'm sure.
Yep.
Corporate Amazon, shake my fist at you.
Right. They're like, what books are being sent out on the subscription boxes right now?
Yeah. So.
Well, the author gets paid either way, twice times.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that's all I could think of without looking at my books. That's all I could.
Yeah.
That I remember recently. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening and or watching.
Or both.
Or both. Please rate and review and all the things on all of the platforms. We really appreciate when that happens because it pushes out to other people to find us.
We got to get rich so Vanessa can stop doing all the back work.
That's right. We need to hire a producer. So yes, rate, review, like us, all the things. Go to our Instagram and, answer our polls and all the things and interact with us. Be our friends. Damn it.
Yeah, come on. We're awesome.
All right. That's all. The end.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Get out of here.